Story Leap Sakara. I live in a spacious villa on the outskirts of the city. This house is very beautiful from the outside because it is decorated with various designs. There is a garden and a big swimming pool in front. The backyard is also very big. Generally speaking, it is the house of the aristocracy. From the outside, it is desirable to live. But inside it is full of unfortunate objects, including bones, human skulls, human blood, and the blood of countless dead animals. I have lived with these things since I was a child because my father was a ghost teacher. I see those things getting used to it. This huge house also comes from working as a ghost teacher. Many people always come to our house to ask Dad for help with this and that, such as making love, making a baby, making a car, wearing a belt, self-defense, etc. And especially asking my dad to help them get promoted. In fact, I do not want Dad to do this work. It is a very serious sin, especially the love story, killing animals, committing crimes. And also dangerous, like the last time there was a man relying on my father to do something to someone, but unsuccessfully. I came back to myself sick for more than a month to find a way to get rid of it. Want to have someone else in the house, afraid to break this, break that in his altar. Dad was in his seat as always. I tossed my bag and went to sleep on the couch, dialing the phone. A little later, an uncle in a clean shirt sprayed sweet water came to the front door and asked me to find Dad. I intend to answer, and sometimes Ipa opens the door enough. He invited the man into the altar and disappeared. Maybe this is what Dad said yesterday. The man who called Dad to help him raise a child to serve him. Dad must have committed another sin and took the spirit and imprisoned him. It was a sin, but even if he was banned, he would not listen. I just kept doing it. I didn't hear it anymore. I walked on the couch, clicked, dragged it, looked at it, played that game for more than an hour, never saw that uncle come back. I walked over to the door of the altar to eavesdrop on what was being said, wondering why he was so poor. Done! The sound of an explosion erupted loudly from the altar. At that time, without thinking much about worrying about Dad's safety, I ran to open the door of the altar. There was a lot of smoke, and all over the room I could see that Dad was still safe. And that uncle was the same. Dad waved his hand and shouted at me, "Asia, get out of the house quickly." I wonder why? Why leave home? What happened? Dad is angry with me for opening the altar door without permission? The question was solved when the sound of laughter filled the house. It had no source. This time, I know that Dad made pray run and pray escaped when I opened the altar door. I was about to take a step towards Dad's words, but suddenly I fell to the ground without stumbling. I opened my eyes and saw myself standing in the altar room. The hand holding the knife was covered with blood all over my body. I saw everything on my body. There were fingerprints and scratches all over, so I looked forward. I started to get stuck in one place. No. Dad. I fell to the ground without feeling. My dad was brutally killed. His arms were amputated and his abdomen was dissected. An uncle who was with my dad at the time of the incident also died. His head was severed, but his eyes and heart were missing. I sat with tears in my eyes. I was the one who did it. I was the killer who killed my father. Now in my head I cannot think of anything. Everything is stuck. I hug my head in pain. This is the result of devotion, a voice whispered in my ear, making me look at the source of the sound, but did not see anything. I did not think much of that sound. What I think now is I should go follow Dad too. I picked up the machete and placed it around Dad's body for the last time before it was too dark.